What's up, YouTube? This is just a follow-up video that I did last night about the incident in Pelican Bay. So I wanted to touch up on a couple of things for those of you that really don't know. There's two outcomes that can play out from this incident. Now, the incident was you had two SouthSiders. They stabbed up a Northerner. But before they did that, there was two other Northerners there that they locked in the freezer. This happened in the kitchen. So that right there says that it was a planned hit. Now, what makes it bad is the hit was done by a different faction. And in prison, that don't fly. It shouldn't fly. Never has. It shouldn't this time. Now, two things that can come out of this that I think. Now, one is the Northerners are going to run it back. It's a declaration of war when that happens. And nobody knows why it happened yet, but the thing is if there was a problem with this one guy, then the Southerners, if they went to the Northerners and told them what happened and wanted them to deal with it, either they dealt with it and they didn't like the way they dealt with it and they took it upon themselves to deal with them, or they just did it on their own without communicating. Now, what I'm thinking is two things that can happen out of this. For one, like I said, it was a declaration of war, by all means necessary. The Northerners should retaliate, which is going to kick off a statewide war like it was in the past. And if that happens, it's going to be like history repeating itself all over again. It's going to be bloodshed, a lot. Now, if they don't run it back and just let it fly, then a lot of people are going to have to answer to it. Now, we're talking about Pelican Bay. So I'm guessing that there are people there that should know what these outcomes can be. Now, if they do let it fly, the person in charge of running the north up there will have the answer to it, possibly be deemed no good, could lose his life over it for showing the cowardice act, especially if you have the keys to your car. Now, when that happens, the blame is going to go down the line. People aren't going to be too happy about it. The foot soldiers aren't going to be too happy about it. Because I know there's some seasoned vets that aren't going to be happy if the right call isn't made. Now, to me, the only right call would be to retaliate and just go with it. Whatever happens after that, it just happens. It's nothing new. Now, my question is, This treaty, peace treaty, been going on for a while, like a decade, I think. So there's a lot of people, there's a lot of inmates. I'm not going to say convicts. There's a lot of inmates that never experienced the all-out war. So we really don't know. This is on both sides now. I'm not favoring any side. You know, so on both sides, do they really know who's with it and who's not? Because we know already anybody can be with it when you got the numbers, even if you act like you're with it. But this is the type of war that is brutal. And there's a lot of these individuals on the same yard together right now. So it's going to be dangerous, really dangerous, if it does kick off. But my question and my thoughts are going to be, are these dudes that never experienced that type of war, are they going to be ready for it? Are they going to be able to handle it? And if they're not, there's going to be a lot of people on both sides that are going to get deemed no good. So the SNY is going to get bigger. Now, my other thought was, if this thing really blows up in every prison, now, how are the guys that are in these SNY gangs or groups, or whatever you want to call them, how are they going to react to a whole new batch of people coming from the mainline behind this? Now, there was talk about this war with the SNY and the GP inmates. So are they going to be accepted? Or how are they going to be treated when the SNY groups find out which ones got sent over there behind not doing the right thing, or just behind not doing what they're supposed to do on both sides? Because the Northerners, if they retaliate, there's going to be some on both sides that aren't going to know what to do, or they're going to try to do what they can do. But there's always people watching. There's always going to be those that are going to judge other people for what they did and what they didn't do. You know, and most of the time, those people that are doing the judging didn't do shit either, because they're busy watching. So my theory, or my thought in my last video, was this was a power play. It was a power move. Now I know the dudes from down south been listening to the stories, or been hearing about the stories in the feds where the Northerners are rushing the Southerners and basically getting the upper hand because they're catching them off guard. Well, I don't know about now. You know, I'm pretty sure they're all up to game. You know, if they're even in the same yards anymore in the feds. But I'm sure they heard about all the stories. Now, to me, something like that would happen in another prison. I'm not the type that's going to say, well, that happened over there. You know, that don't have nothing to do with this prison. I'm not that type of dude. You know, I would want to run it back regardless if the people wasn't there or not. It was going to have to be some get back. But that's just how I represent it. when I represent it. Now, I'm sure there's people the same way still. People got memories. They haven't forgot about the wars. They haven't forgot about the bloodshed. So it's still in the back of their mind. And who knows? They might want to kick it off. To me, there's no choice but to kick it off. If they don't, they're going to give the Southerners exactly what they want. They already got in close with them, planted their flag in different places, even though they have been doing it, but they're more into places where they normally wouldn't have been. I just seen some Northerners and Southerners hanging out, and I just look at it and I just shake my head because I knew that it was going to come to an end. It's going to come to an end, believe me. This end of hostilities is about to come to the end. And if it doesn't, then somebody fucked up somewhere. If it does, hey, they're just doing what they're supposed to do. They still got to represent. They still got to hold down their household. Regardless of if they had a peace treaty or not. There's rules. Prison politics. They can get treacherous, and shit can blow up real quick. Now you got these smooth talkers. They got a mouthpiece on them, and they might be able to talk their way out of certain things, manipulate people into thinking something different. But trust me, in this case, I don't think there's no other decision to make. If I was making that call, it would have done kicked off already. But I'm not making that call. Now, people in their right mind, convicts, should know that it's time to lace up your boots and get with it. And me personally, I wouldn't want to see it happen. Regardless if I had nothing to do with the North or the South, I wouldn't want to see it happen because, those are people's brothers. Those are people's sons. I got boys that are of age to go to prison, and I wouldn't want to wish that on any parent. I did what I did when I was young, but to see my kids have to go through that, I don't wish that on no parent. I guess you could say that I got a little kind-hearted with age, but I just call it growing up. Some politics you can't avoid, and some can get brushed under the rug in certain cases. But from what I hear, this dude got poked up pretty bad. And like I said, that was a declaration of war. So there's no other choice that could be made but to kick it off. And who knows where it goes from there to there. It's, in my eyes, knowing prison the way I know it, it's going to get bad. So I just wanted to just voice my little opinion of two different scenarios that can happen. The only two that can happen. It's either one or the other. So I'm pretty sure there's some heated individuals right now, and they're ready to go. Like I said, I had nothing to do with either side. I was friends with both at one time, but last I heard, um, they don't like us. So whatever happens between them just happens. So I like to ask you folks listening, hit the like, subscribe, make a comment. I'm trying to build up this channel. That's why I haven't been making too many videos or putting out too much, because it's almost like I need to build up this channel so I can really get into my stories. I got some stories, but it all depends if I'm gonna take the time to put them out and edit them and all that stuff. I'm still learning at this stuff, but I still wish everybody good health. I still wish everybody's families in good health and all their kids are safe. All the youngsters are not going down that wrong path. I wish the best for everybody. I wish a smooth outcome for everybody. Sometimes wishes don't come true, but if there's a will, there's a way, I guess. That's how you want to put it. Anything's possible. So with that being said, hit the little notification bell. Hit the like, the comment. The more likes, the more views I see, the more videos I'm going to put out. The more interesting stories I'm going to put out. Some are going to just be my opinion. Some will be based on what's going on nowadays. And some will be to, help people get off parole. Don't come back. Don't go back to prison. So I would say it's a little educational knowledge that you can get anywhere. It's just up to certain people if they want to listen. Because I know if I can do it, anybody can do it. That being said, I'm going to cut this video now, see how this thing plays out. Like I said, though, there's only two things that can happen behind it. And it's almost a 99% guarantee that it's going to go back to the old ways. Well, not old ways, not the old ways, but it's going to go back to the North and South war. With that, I'll cut this video. I'll come back with another video, see what happens with this. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Lay out.